Digitization, internal, external. So the ministry aims to replace informal decision-making with a digital-driven model, incorporating a GIS mapping and route density assessment and commuter flow of analysis to ensure that licenses allocations are evidence-based. So we're going to be looking at how it is done digitally, and maybe once everything is done, we may include an app to have all our taxis and buses registered under that one app. Transparency. So while past ministers used discretion to address specific needs to our hardship cases, the absence of a codified criteria has led to inconsistencies. So the ministry is now working on a clear, documented conditions and safeguards, including independent reviews by the committee or authority to ensure transparency and accountability. And this will be done with a legal entity. Lastly, as you are also well aware, the Inspectorate of Economic and Transport Affairs has played a proactive role this year in restoring regulatory oversight. So in January 2022, the IETA reinstated the confirmation letter process, a key compliance mechanism to verify the legitimacy of permit holders, addressed issues between 2023 and 2022 of unauthorized drivers, expired assistant licenses, and misuse of plates, and rebuild an accurate operator database. So important is that as of today, we are on all forms of media. All passenger transportation operators must submit their confirmation letters to formally declare their permits. So we're giving you until August 8th, which is well past the 6 months. Why do I say that? Non-compliance may result in the permit being deemed dormant, as per Article 16, Paragraph G of the National Ordinance of the Passenger Transport. Permits unused for more than 6 months may be revoked permanently or temporarily. So currently we have still taxi operators that are still uncollected, 131 still uncollected from the taxis, and from the buses, 163. Those of you, you have until August 8th to come and pick up your confirmation letters and pay your road tax. The ministry will provide a public update on the total number of confirmation letters issued and how these figures compare to the number of registered taxi and bus licenses in our official registry at a later date. The ministry is now in the final stages of, close to the final stages of completing the draft policy amendment. Once finalized, as mentioned before, full stakeholder consultation will take place to ensure collaboration and buy-in before changes are enacted. As part of these reforms, mandatory training and certification is also being considered for all licenses. This training will cover public safety, customer service, traffic regulations, regulatory responsibilities under the framework. These reforms mark a critical turning point, not just for the ministry, but for the people we serve. We reaffirm our commitment to rebuilding trust, ensuring fairness, and transforming our public transportation system through a stronger policy, proper regulation and enforcement, and mandatory training, and true accountability. Our public transportation operators, for the most, are the first ambassadors of Visit Encounter. They represent the face of our tourism product and play a pivotal role in sustaining our economy. That is why we must raise the standards, implement a clear code of conduct, ensure every license holder understands the responsibility they carry, and with that, we stand with the people, and together we will create a system that reflects excellence, dignity, and pride for St. Martin.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXV, yeah. Your social health insurances.
24/7 TV programming on www.stmartinmediacenter.com, SXM Daily News, PBS NewsHour, Now You Know, Com programs, documentary, entertainment, sports events, Saturday children's hours, religion programs, and movies. Click on SXM TV broadcast to see your favorite programs.
What I'm trying to say in so much terms is, it is a crisis, it's a weird situation. We learned our lessons during Irma. We don't want to do it like this again. We had a problem with the military. I'm telling you, the police had a problem with the military, whereby they wanted to do their own thing. And we remind them, listen, you got to go at this location. No, my boss tell me I got to go there. Yeah, that's how bad it got. If this had taken place the way we wanted it, a lot of the looting that took place would have been taken care of. Again, it has gotten better. It has gotten better. With that being said, there is no correct way of doing this. It's all of us have to learn. All of us have to learn from our mistakes. And all of those who are the ESFs, and I'm talking about ESF 7 in particular, which is social services, they need our help to get certain places. They need to know where the shelters are, how to get to the shelters. They need the safety of protecting the shelter, because that's also our task. But we need cooperation from the general public. I'm begging for this because I know what we went through last time. Again, I'm more interactive, so I want the questions, but I'm asking, and we'll keep ahead repeating that this is not only our problem. Safety is also everybody else's problem. We had some issues whereby people wanted to come out during the hurricane. Literally during the hurricane. You tell them to go back home. Not even the loot itself, Some of our people.
They're looking for thrill.
What are you going to do during this?
Been in the hurricane.
What are you going to look for at that moment? That's the only thing. Remember, we nearly had somebody who nearly cut off the head. So it is your own general safety too. And I'll close with this piece. And there's a general warning. If something happened, a hurricane is going on, and you step out of your house, and you get yourself in a predicament, you're on your own until it's past. I will not endanger no police officer for your stupidity. So it sounds a little hard, it sounds a little harsh, but it is something you learn the hard way. Must feel. So, thanks again. I'm cutting it short because, again, I'm running for another issue we are having, and everybody knows that it's about the prison, and that's another headache on its own. But I'm going to give you a chance to have the question before I leave, though, because I think I expect some.
Does the police have enough?
For that. How the base stand. So we're going to ask, they're going to send a group maybe a peloton, maybe 40, 50, 60, depends on what we ask for. The idea for them is always to close off certain intersections. Their job is when we tell them you're going by the intersection LB Scott Road, the only one thing they got to do, tell people to go back home. You ain't passing here, go back home. So that's the idea behind it, keeping the people off the road at that moment. Unless, they said again, you're going to work for the hospital, you're going one of those things, then you go different. And again, that most of the time you have a pass. We don't have enough, we always ask, we just get. The problem is always, when do you give the public the chance to come out? That's the issue. That line is a thin line.
Josefa,
Yep.
maybe you said it already. However, maybe it needs to be said again. Give some more practical tips that persons can take to strengthen their home against. My other thing was, so give that information as well as to let them know who their respective community police officers are. That might be also helpful.
You know, it's a question I was trying to avoid part of this when it comes to the community policing, because right now the structure of the community policing have changed. The issue is, there have a couple of us who left, including myself, who left the community policing to take another function. So about 5 years ago, I was moved from community policing to the head of communication department. My partner, Mr. Chandler, left. He went to work federal detective. So there's a couple of us who left. They did bring in a couple of new ones, but they still, when it comes to certain districts, it's not totally covered. And with that being said, there are certain districts that are well covered, which is in Phillipsburg, for sure. Mr. Martis, he's a community officer, Jadewood. I see your writing, so I'm going a little slower. Miss Romeo is still from Middle Region area. And St. Peter's was still the issue whereby when Mr. Felix Richards left to go work in the private sector. So right now, we're trying to get Miss Leonard, who's over Dutch Quarter, to also take care of St. Peter's South Ward area. But that's what we have right now. Mr. Richardson, Miss Crispulo, and Mr. Bayrad are over the hill. So Bayrad is over Maho, Miss Crispulo is over Colby, Sean, a lady, Crispulo, Sean. Crispulo is her last name. And Sharon Richardson is over Simpson Bay area. Sharon.
So Ms. Leonard covers...
Yeah, most of the time we assist, Dutch Quarter Belvedere, and she assists right now in the St. Peter's area because there is no one, Mr. Richards, left for another job.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXV, yeah, your social health insurances.
24/7 TV programming on www.stmartinmediacenter.com, SXM Daily News, PBS NewsHour, Now You Know, com programs, documentary, entertainment, sports events, Saturday children's hours, religion programs, and movies. Click on SXM TV broadcast to see your favorite programs.
Election Day observers needed. The call this afternoon from the Citizens Action for Free and Fair Elections Cafe in preparation for the upcoming general elections. Jamila Maitland explains.
1,000 people are being sought by the Citizens Action for Free and Fair Elections Cafe to work as volunteers for the election. Grace Baston is Cafe's chairman.
For the local government election, we had just under 500. We're aiming for 1,000. We think there are about 22 constituencies that could swing. You know, everybody tells us it will be close. That's the opinion out there. So we want to make sure we're where it will matter. Yeah. And we will need that many volunteers.
Citizens 18 years and older are being encouraged to apply on Cafe's website. However, there are exceptions for some 17-year-olds with parental permission. Mrs. Baston, who was speaking on Smile Jamaica on Thursday, gave a rundown on what is expected of the volunteers on Election Day.
Is everybody being processed properly? Has anybody been turned away who ought not to have been turned away? Is there any disruption in the voting? That's your job. Is there anybody being intimidated? Is the law being...
The cafe chairman also revealed that volunteers are not paid. However, they do receive a stipend. This, she says, will help to promote civic duty and pride, while also learning about the voting process so they can become more encouraged to vote.
So we're clear, you're volunteering as a citizen. No. We do make a contribution to your expenses for that day. So if you've had to take the bus, if you've had to buy your own lunch, which you have to do because we don't provide that, or if you need to have data to send in your reports. So there's a $7,000 contribution towards those expenses.
She argues that there is a lot of misconceptions about the work and role of CAFE. According to the United Nations, observers help to identify weaknesses and builds confidence in the electoral process. A report is provided after each election to the Electoral Office of Jamaica in an effort to strengthen the existing systems.
You are not there to countermand the presiding officer. Excuse me, miss, this is not there. Where is this? That's not your business at all. Okay. You make a note because at about 10 o'clock, you're going to step outside of the polling station and submit your first report to the Cafe Data Center, which allows us, the leadership, to speak by about 11 o'clock about the quality of the opening of the poll.
Jamila Maitland, TVJ News.
Wrestling legend Hulk Hogan has died at the age of 71. Clearwater, Florida officials tell CNN emergency personnel responded to a medical call at 9:51 a.m. related to cardiac arrest. CNN's Andy Scholes joins me now. Andy, what are you hearing?
Manu, I mean, it's just the sports world mourning the loss of Hulk Hogan. You know, he was just, he was a cultural icon. You know, no one put wrestling on the map more than Hulk Hogan did in the 1980s. You know, when he slammed Andre the Giant, I mean, that was just a moment that really propelled wrestling into the mainstream. And, you know, I grew up, I was a Hulkamaniac as a kid. You know, when his song Real American hit, you know, it would just give you chills when he would come out to the ring, and he was just such a performer and what a speaker he was. You know, all the things he used to say, you know, what you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you, or when he was doing an interview with Mean Gene Okerlund and he said, let me tell you something, brother. I mean, it's just the things he did, you know, that just resonated, you know, for decades to come. And, you know, he was such a powerful speaker. Like I said, Manu, you know, I worked in Dallas. He once came on my sports show back in the day called Inside Sports, and we, hey, Hulk, can you can you rip off a promo for us? And he immediately, just like that, Manu, just like that, was able to rip off a 20-second promo, no questions. But, you know, the sports world and the WWE, everyone putting out a statement just of how sad of a moment this is. The WWE said, saddened to learn that Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan has passed away. He's one of pop culture's most recognizable figures. Hogan helped WWE achieve global recognition in the 80s. The WWE extends its condolences to Hogan's family, friends, and fans. And then Ric Flair, who was an icon right alongside Hogan through the decades wrestling, he said, I'm absolutely shocked to hear about the passing of my close friend Hulk Hogan. Hulk has been by my side since we started in the wrestling business, an incredible athlete, talent, friend, and father. Our friendship has meant the world to me. He was always there for me when I didn't ask for him to be. And he went on to share some stories of the Hulkster. But Manu, you know, big part of my childhood. I know everyone's got a Hulk Hogan moment they remember, and he's just an icon. And it's sad that he's now not with us, leaving us at the age of 71.
Yeah, there was nobody like Hulk Hogan. What a figure he was in society and wrestling and the like, and he'll be remembered by people, both not just in the sports world, but in the political world as well, which we're going to talk about here at the table. Andy Scholes, thank you so much for that, and we're back here around the table. Hulk, of course, was a big supporter of President Trump's. None of us can forget this memorable speech from the 2024 Republican convention.
Took a shot at my hero, and they tried to kill the next President of the United States. Enough was enough, and I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother. Let Trumpomania rule again. Let Trumpomania make America great again.
I mean, I don't really remember a lot from the Republican convention.
Do you remember
I
that?
remember that vividly.
I mean, yeah.
You were in the room.
I was. I mean, no one will forget the tearing off of the shirt. Look, I mean, he was someone I remember when I was talking to a lot of people on the ground. They were like, this is what I'm excited for. People were so jazzed that they were going to be seeing Hulk Hogan. A lot of, my sources, a lot of people I've talked with, they're like, not a lot of people get me excited anymore, but Hulk Hogan does. And it was interesting because he actually was a primetime speaker. He was one of the last people to go on right before the president came out and gave his speech. He also was someone who didn't always support Trump. It was actually pretty late in the race that he ended up going out and endorsing him. He said after he saw him stand up at Butler, that's what did it for him. But look, he really became not only obviously what Andy was saying, a huge icon, a figure, but he really became that in the Republican movement as well. And we're seeing already, I was looking on my phone on social media, people like Donald Trump Jr., a lot of the president's top supporters, family members, saying that he was a legend and rest in peace, Hulk Hogan.